I got no sound. I don't hear any
Oh, you don't?
drums. It says we're just live. We had no countdown. We're just live.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you hear the
Look at
music?
that. We're like we're live right now. People are seeing this. We've got our
do you
metaphorical pants down.
do you not hear the
Hey,
music?
I don't hear any drums. I don't hear anything. So I'm just gonna go. It's the Sumo Show. The podcast that discusses everything that's going on in Japanese Grand Sumo. Whether you've been steeped in sumo lore since the Heisei era, like me, Stan, or or you're a dedicated fan, like our
Like
friend
me.
Troy, who wants to get deeper into what's happening on and off the dohyo, or you're brand new to the world of sumo and you just want to learn what it's all about. No matter how much you know about the sport, the Sumo Show has something for you. So let's throw some purifying salt into the ring, do a few big Shiko foot stomps, and see what's new on this week's episode of the Sumo Show. So konnichiwa, everyone. And Okairi, welcome back to my co-host Troy.
Howdy do. I'm worried that you couldn't hear the music.
Couldn't well, and there was no countdown.
It just plopped you right out there.
It was just the picture of the little uh, Rikshi and Gyoji dolls.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know why it did that to you.
Well, we do know why.
We do.
Yeah, because your computer got convenienced for you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But what I'm saying is that I was playing the drums this whole time.
Oh well, it was not coming through.
Wacky. But you can hear me.
I can hear you, but I could not hear the drums.
Well, well, well. Nothing says sumo like a bunch of technical malfunction.
Can you hear the drums, Fernando? Better stop
I'm
there
gonna,
unless I want Abba to sue me.
right? Yeah. I mean, given our luck, they'd come over and just delete our lives.
That's right. That would be it.
They'd be like, sorry, Xana
There's
do,
no
Xana
Abba
don't.
on sumo. No.
That's good. I like that. Xana do, Xana don't. I'm going to double check something while we're live because that's the best time to
Because
do
why
it.
not? Why not?
Just to see if, folks, if
Why
I can hear
not?
us. Why not?
Feels like almost a Christopher Walken thing. Oh, why not?
That sounded a little bit like that other guy.
It sounded a little more like Jimmy Stewart than Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
it did. Right. It came out of my mouth. I'm like, somehow Jimmy Stewart got in my Christopher Walken.
Right, yeah.
And it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup of imitation.
We're giving you a little sample of our other podcast.
It's...
Who am I?
Who the heck am I?
Don't tell me, please. Who am I?
It's crazy.
All right, let me check something here real quick.
Oh yeah. So since we're broadcasting anyway, how you doing? How's your sumo life?
How's my sumo life?
Yeah.
Good. I got a little confused there because I was playing. Our audio is working.
Our audio's working. That's good.
Yeah, I just want to be sure because if you couldn't hear the drums, I was worried that people couldn't hear me, and maybe I'm just a figment of your imagination, and I just didn't like that idea.
Yeah, well, I've always worried about that.
My sumo life is good. There is a sort of energy in the world of sumo right now, a kind of youthful exuberance.
There is.
Yeah, and just seeing all of the pictures of Hoshoryu looking, like he's very happy.
Yes, I would say no spoilers, but we're a week at the end, and there's been a lot of sumo news, and I think anyone here will know what happened. But we're going to talk about it anyway, so let's hold off on that.
Okay. Yes.
Did you have pictures that you wanted to share later? I know
I did. Yeah.
Do you still have them? Are they?
I do. I have two of them. Two of them I have. Hey, this is a good time to remind folks, as we kind of come to the end of our presentation of the Basho, that you don't have to just lie there alone and desolate and feeling removed and disconnected. You can join the Facebook group and connect with Stan. Now, Stan, are you frozen or am I frozen? I do not know. Why? Uh, who can say? Looks like it might not be me. Then it might actually be Stan. As I was saying, this very moment notwithstanding, Stan posts regularly to our Facebook group, and why it's just a heck of a lot of fun. Stan knows his sumo, and he is not one to dilly or dally.
You can't. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
I'm back. For some reason, my connection
Uh,
was lost.
yeah, but you're not showing up on the screen. What happened? Wherefore art thou
Where
face?
am I?
I don't know. What the heck?
Like, this is a very, very, very strange. Oh, there I am.
Well, there you are, but that's not the you that we want, really.
No,
We need to get rid of that thing. That needs to go
like my
to.
face. Do you need to get rid of my face?
No, no, no. That
What
thing.
if I stop sharing
Hold on one sec.
like that? I
Uh,
stopped sharing. I'm back.
okay, yeah, but so yeah, it was. Who knows what's happening right now? I have
We don't.
zero
We
clue.
don't. It's all hell is breaking loose.
Yeah, it really is. And here's the thing, folks. We do this live.
It's if in case you doubted it.
You're right, yeah. Because we didn't want to mess with any of that editing nonsense.
It's,
And I
who
say it's
needs
a
it?
choice. Who needs it?
Who needs it? You know what? This is entertainment.
Yeah, for us only, and that's
Right.
okay. We're fine with that. We're fine with that. We are entertained.
We are.
Um,
We're okay with the going up, as they say on the stage.
that's right. The goings on, the going up, the shenanigan. Yeah, we are the architects of our own shenanigans. And as I was saying over on Facebook, there's all kinds of good shenanigans to get into. Betwixt the Bashos, you can hang out and you can have some, some debate with my mother about sumo. And my aunt, she's there too. And
Because they are getting so opinionated.
it's a little out of control. I mean, come on. But that's what you get when you're big fans of Shodai.
Oh my.
Oh, mom.
Oh
Yeah, no. But
my. Oh
seriously,
my.
all jokes aside, it's a great place to keep tabs on things, to ask some questions. It's a great place for people, whether you are, as you famously say, whether you're steeped in sumo
Mhm.
or
Or
you're
you're
a
brand
newbie
new
like
to the
me.
sport and just want to learn what it's all about.
That's right. That's right. Look for the Sumo Show. In other news, I might add
Mhm.
that everyone famously knows me for my line, "We're the Sumo Show."
Turns out, no, there's someone else,
There's someone else, brand new ski, brand new.
and we
Maybe didn't
welcome
check the.
them.
We do welcome them. They didn't necessarily check the landscape. I popped over there and said, "Oh, hey, this is great! Another the Sumo Show. Have fun." And he said, "Please don't make me change it." And I said, "Well, we're not a we're not a cartel. We're not gonna come over there and
So we're not.
you know
We're not a
make you a pair
criminal
of cement
organization.
shoes."
We're not sending video leg breakers over to your house. Hello,
No, yeah.
JJ Doomfache. How are
Hey,
you?
JJ, we were just talking. Don't be fooled. There's another The Sumo Show. Yeah, it's. I don't know if it's Shodai fans, but it's it's in my world, in my make believe world. My mother is a Shodai fan,
Oh,
so it's just Anyway, yeah. So there's another The Sumo Show. I don't know because we're not gonna get all like, listen, we're gonna take this to the Grand Sumo, Council of your jerks or something. But maybe, hopefully, he changes it. You
yeah.
know,
Or
if you
he sends a
listen,
hit squad after us. I mean, I don't
that
know.
actually might be the case. You know what? That reminds me of some couple really weird things happened. Throughout the week. Ever since that, yeah, I've been followed by shady sumo wrestlers. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So if you happen to run into them, say, "Hey, the Sumo Show too. It's good to see you."
Hey, it's Earth 65 sumo
Yeah,
show.
that's right. I know the timelines are just all messed up, but Yeah. Anyway, so don't be fooled, but don't be rude either.
Right.
We're just letting you know that.
It's like, don't accept any substitute, but don't be rude.
Yeah, I mean, don't eject them, but don't shunt them out the airlock. Don't
Right.
ask them incessantly to change their name.
Don't nuke them from orbit. There are other
Don't.
ways to be sure.
There are other ways to be sure. Ah, that was good. Tickle my funny bone. So a lot happened since the last show.
Well, there are only 2 days left in the tournament, and a lot happened.
A dramatic amount of
Yes.
things.
Yes. Yes. So let's dive in here, or we're gonna be here all night. And I know that
Yes,
your
yeah.
bladder can't take that.
No, it really
So
can. I think I've got about 40 minutes of bladder.
wow. What did you do when we were doing hour and a half shows? Because you didn't used to run out, or we've done a few that are 2 hours, and what do you just sit there and bounce up and down on your chair? No, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I don't. Let's not waste time talking about that.
No, no, no. The listeners don't need to hear that. That's
Yeah.
for the Sumo Show #1 After Dark. Yeah. All right.
You.
I know. I'm grossed myself out.
So we're going into day 14.
Yeah.
We had Kin Bozan from Kazakhstan. Maegashira 14 was the lone leader. He was the sole person in the lead with an 11-2 record, and with only 2 days left. And behind him were a quartet of very interesting people, including Ozeki Hoshodyu and Maegashira 1 Kirishima
Yeah.
and Maegashira 3 Oho and Maegashira 11 Takeru Fuji, three of whom have won tournaments in the past. So, are really kind of, you figure they've got the focus. They know how to do it. They're threats. They're always threats.
Yeah.
And Kin Bozan has never, ever done this well before. So
Yeah, just shot right through anybody's, expectations and yeah.
And of course, there's also the drama going on of Hoshodyu having the potential for a Yokozuna promotion, but he has to win the tournament to do it.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And we've been pretty hesitant to.
I've been down. I've been down. The 3 losses he had and how he had them made me say, even if he wins the tournament, I wouldn't give it to him. But they don't ask me. But we'll get to that later, because what happens in the tournament matters. But
That's right.
Certainly at this point, my going into day 14, my position was, yeah, well, I mean, he's still got a good shot at winning the tournament, which surprisingly 3 days earlier he hadn't. Kind of counted him out.
Yeah.
Now he's right there with a real shot at it. If Kin Bozan loses one of his 2 remaining matches. So he's got 2 matches left. If he wins them both, then he wins the tournament. And if he only loses one of them, then he will be in a playoff with any of the other guys there at 10-3 who managed to win both of their remaining matches. And if he loses them both, then chances are probably good that someone at 10-3 is going to just slip by him.
Yeah.
So that's how it was coming into the Saturday. If it was a regular 12-3, I'd agree those rank and file losses were rough. Yes, that's and we'll get into that a lot. I will have a lot to say after we get from the end of the tournament to the post-tournament stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I certainly have facts to back up my opinion, my crazy gaijin opinion.
Yes.
But let's see what happens now if I come over to here. Did you switch? Oh, you switched just to that. And now if I share my screen.
It looks like it's going to share with your face, which,
It is for a second because I'm not sharing anything yet.
There we go. Okay. Well.
Yeah, well, with the whole switch, I stopped sharing. And now
I see.
Now I'm resharing.
Nice.
They updated the app. You in previous shows you will have noticed that this was much wider and easier to read. For our convenience, they updated the app today, and
That's right.
it no longer will give me a landscape picture of it. So we've got to
Because
go with
why would
vertical.
yeah? Why would anything be easy?
So this is what happened on day 14.
Oh, real
And
quick,
we'll,
Dumvache says if it was a regular 12-3, I'd agree. Those
yeah,
ranking file losses were rough.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna scan up here. People we care about. Onokatsu, who's on my team, loses. Uh,
Yay. I mean, oh, poor guy.
Takada Fuji, who's on your team because you picked him, you big dummy. Uh, he loses too. So
Nah,
um,
he was already cooked.
Hakuoho wins. That's good. Shodai loses. Man, I tell you, this whole tournament is such a Shodai for him.
It's
He
such a
has had such a
showdown, yeah.
Shodai tournament.
Where
And
he's been everywhere,
we'll
all
talk
across.
about that at the end too.
Yeah, a rainbow
Mitakagumi
of emotions.
loses again,
Oh,
but Atami Fuji gets the win, which is good for him.
finally.
Kim Bozan beat Kirishima in a
Yeah.
very exciting match. So so that means going into day 15. Pardon me. Woof. Uh, he's going to have the whole lead, and if he wins on day 15, he can win outright. And Kirishima, because he lost, drops out of contention. Uh, Uda beats Wakata Kakage in another one of those exciting Uda bouts. Um, and Takeru Fuji loses to Hoshoryu. That was a little scary to me. I don't know if which means Takeru Fuji drops out of the race too. But the reason it was scary for me is I think that uh, it was a fight against Hoshoryu when he broke his ankle. That when he messed up his ankle last time. Do you
I did. No, I don't remember. I'm looking. I'm sorry. I'm pulling all of my tabs closed when my computer decided to restart.
when the convenience happened?
When the for my pleasure, it
Yeah.
decided to
So I
reboot.
think that in last year's January tournament, was it January or March tournament when he won? I think it was a March tournament.
Oh yes, right.
And the match that where he twisted his ankle so badly that the day 14, it was day 14 of that match, and I think he was fighting against Hoshoryu. And so here's on day 14, and he's fighting against Hoshoryu, and Hoshoryu beats him, and he gets knocked off he loses and goes flying off the dohyo in pretty much a similar fashion. Well, I mean, if you remember the one he lost, he had bent his foot. He didn't go off all the way off, and he bent his foot and then fell and landed on it, and that's what caused the problem. But he got pushed off again and had to go and fall and take that. It
Ouch.
was a little scary to me, and I think if you watch the video of that match again, you will see Hoshoryu looking after winning and making his look. He immediately is looking down to see if Takeru Fuji is okay, because I think if he
He,
was, he certainly remembers that happened.
yeah.
Um, but Hoshoryu wins, and so stays in the running. And Oho also wins. He beats Takanosho in a pretty exciting match to stay in the running. So very exciting day 14.
Yeah.
And our Kim Bozan remains ahead of everyone else, one win ahead of everyone else. Right, we go into day 15 with Kim Bozan in the lead. If he can win his day 15 match, he will win the tournament. And if he loses his day 15 match is against Oho. So if he wins that match, he wins the tournament. And if he
What a
loses that match, he and Oho will have a playoff.
what a fantastic moment in sumo. Just a little slice in time.
Yeah.
The sort of the Hoshoryu having to do what he needs to do, just Kimbozan and how just out of nowhere, but so thrilling, just kind of, it's very satisfying to see that happen. You it's the classic story, and it really is one of those moments where I felt myself, as you were talking, saying it all comes down to this, and like it's so very tropey.
Right. But
Let's
it's
see,
the reason the
JJ's.
trope exists.
That's right, because it's a real thing. I mean, it is. It does happen. It's thrilling to be a part of it in a way that I care. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I'm looking at Doomfache.
It's Oho is unironically great now. You know what? Oho has finally this tournament performed as well as everyone has hoped he would for quite a while. Like so many of the other Rikishi we talk about recently, what's up in the air is, will he do it again next time? Has he really made a leap, or has he just had one tournament where everything aligned for him? And I hope that the answer is that he's made a leap, because he has been great this tournament.
Well, and frankly, we're hoping for that to be a theme, generally speaking,
yes,
of
there
everybody.
are a lot of people that we hope to say that about, and a few people we hope to say, well, this was just a little bad luck and they'll bounce back. Yes. So if so, that match between Kimbozan and Oho is going to decide whether we have a winner or we have a playoff. And if there's a playoff, then if Hoshoryu wins his match, which will be the Musubi no Ichiban, the final match of the day against fellow Ozeki Kotozakura. So it's supposed to be big time match with the two toughest guys. Fortunately for Hoshoryu, Kotozakura has been having a terrible tournament, but still, he's big and he's skilled, so it's not a gimme. And if Hoshoryu wins that, then he would also take part in the playoff. Got it?
All comes down to this.
It all comes down to this. All right. Well, since it only happened a week ago, we can tell you that. Oh, what the?
Oh, there we go.
Oh. For my convenience. All right. So
it is just that kind of
this is definitely quite the day. All right. So start at the bottom and scan up, right? We got Tamawashi loses, sadly, on his day 15. Takada Fuji wins. Oh, loses. Sorry. Loses again for you. Onokatsu also.
What's that supposed to mean?
For me. I'm just following some of the guys that we had on our teams.
Yeah.
Shodai loses again. Shodai loses and is Makekoshi.
What does that mean? What is he doing?
Beating the Yokozuna and beating Hoshoryu. Giving Hoshoryu. One of Hoshoryu's losses is to Shodai.
That is just
who is Makekoshi. And in fact, here's the thing that I'll bring up later. All three of the people who beat Hoshoryu wound up being Makekoshi.
Well, because they got the curse.
Yeah, well, that may be the curse for them, but it doesn't make him look good.
That's so true. Right? That is true.
3 losses to rank and file members who overall all had Makekoshi.
Yeah. Those as JJ was saying, and as we talked about in past episodes of this on this particular Basho, it was rough.
But we get up here to see Kimbozan and Oho wins that match. And oh my goodness, what a match that was! That was a great fight. Kimbozan almost had him. Oho fought great, and Kimbozan didn't. He lost his loss to Hoshoryu. He really looked a little starstruck. He looked a little stunned.
I mean, you think What are you?
I think he was certainly he was nervous.
Yeah, yeah.
But it you could be nervous and that goes well for you, but that did not.
Right. It can go one of two ways when you're nervous.
Yeah. So I was a little worried. His fight against Oho, I thought he was going to win it. He seemed to have gathered himself, and they both they both put on a show which was worthy of the final day between two people fighting for the cup. But Oho won, which meant there's going to be a playoff.
Yeah.
And so we had to see what happened. Would Hoshoryu also win and get to join the playoff? Because if he loses, he's out, and they have a playoff without him. Onosato beat Ura in a big, crushing way, and there we go. Hoshoryu beat Kotozakura. Again, it was kind of a close fight. Right? Kotozakura came and gave as good as he gave this whole tournament, which was not great, but he put on a good defense, and Hoshoryu didn't push him around,
Right.
didn't get him in a sneaky trip that ended it quickly. The match went on a little bit, and Hoshoryu had to wind up doing a head throw, a neck grab throw. Very exciting, but he won, meaning that we had a 3-way playoff.
Wow. Now this is interesting. So in sumo, when there's a 3-way playoff, they just drop all three of them into the ring together, and then they
drop a cage around it. Yeah, there are
and each of them a
usually
knife, and then
chainsaws and other implements. Why does this keep happening?
I don't know.
Other implements of destruction hanging
Fire,
off.
yeah.
Yeah, stop it. Wow. Hanging off the side of the that's how it goes.
Yeah.
No, it's not how it goes at all. The way it goes is a draw straws, and two people face each other, and the first rikishi to win 2 matches in a row. So the first two fight each other. The winner then fights the third. If he beats him, then he'll have 2 wins in a row, and he will win the tournament. If not, the winner stays on and takes on the next guy, and it keeps going in a circle like that until someone wins 2 in a row.
I gotta say, it is for this moment, for this basho. What a way! What a thing!
So we're gonna pull this down slowly so we can see that Kinbozan and Hoshoryu was the first match, and Hoshoryu wins. And Kinbozan put on a better fight this time. He did not look starstruck. He came in and he put up a good defense, but Hoshoryu won. Hoshoryu proved to be the better rikishi at the time. And in fact, he sent him flying into the crowd, which meant that Hoshoryu then had to fight Oho.
Yeah. It sounds like JJ may be more excited about Ichi Yamamoto getting his Kachikoshi.
Hey, we all have our loves.
That's
true. I remember you getting pretty excited about Shodai at some point. Yes, Hoshoryu beats Oho. Another good match also. I do like, we didn't have like the super disappointment that we had when Abi did a Henka in a playoff, or when Takayasu seemed to collapse under his own weight in a playoff. But you can have a playoff where the matches end up to be anticlimactic, and that was not the case. Both of these playoff matches were really good fights.
And I'll say this too.
Showed his. I mean, he really came out to show his.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he did.
Yes, and I feel like this is when we talked last when we do our production meetings on Sundays, and I had yet to see kind of the run up and all the stuff, but you gave me the spoilers because I demanded it, and you and I were both kind of like, it just feels like premature. He didn't quite get it. But don't you feel like this ender, this cap?
Nope.
You don't.
for all the reasons I said earlier. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's not. He sure looked good on those final days, but
yeah,
that's not what we're looking for. Because here's all right. I can dive right into it. Right? He had 3 losses. Right? He wasn't in contention. He was fighting back for contention, which
yeah.
good on him. He fought back.
He did.
Um,
Yeah.
and also, let me just say, I really like him, and I want him to do really well. My
Same. Yeah.
fear
Yeah.
is that
Absolutely.
he's not going to,
Right.
um, because he did all this. Everything was on the line, which made him have to focus. But it's because there was so much pressure. He seems to really respond well to pressure.
He
But when
does, but
it's
I'll also
just
say too, it also seems to me like just historically, he's not. He's the Richie that is really great at where he was. That's. I
yeah,
mean, we talked about that. Like he kind of maybe that's just where he was meant to be, and so yeah, there's a worry, especially just kind of given how wobbly things have been, over the last few years, and just generally speaking. But I was pretty stoked.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I
yeah.
I'm happy for
And I
him,
respect
and
that.
I hope
Yeah.
he does well. But I'm worried, is what I am,
Yes,
because
yes.
I'm so afraid that he's going to what he's done in these last 2 tournaments has been terrific, but it's not a step. It's not that big a step up from what he did previously.
Right,
Right?
right.
It's a step, and he did it. Like, technically, I can't say that he
Oh,
didn't
nice.
meet the the qualifications if you want to stretch them a little. And I'm all for being a little more lenient than this Kyokai had been in the previous couple of decades. But
Yeah.
um, I think right now they're panicked about not having a Yokozuna, and in my opinion, it's worse to have a so-so Yokozuna than
Lackluster.
it
Yeah,
is to
yeah.
have no Yokozuna.
Well, and that's true. And I think that we've seen just the impact of when the top of the, Banzuke is weak or when
Right, but
they're,
but the thing is, he won't be weak because what he has been and proven himself to be is a strong Ozeki.
yes,
Um,
right.
but a strong Ozeki is a weak Yokozuna. Right?
Yeah.
He's won this tournament. Is great. Uh, this is only his second win ever, and he's been a Yokozuna. He's been a Ozeki for a year and a half, 2 years.
See,
Um,
that's a rough
he
stat.
he
Yeah.
lost. Let's say he lost 3 matches in week one, and as I was saying earlier, all the people he lost to uh, were um, wound up being Makekoshi. Right? Oop, come on back. Come on back. He lost. Ugh. Yeah, they've really improved this app. He lost to Atami Fuji, who wound up being 5-10, I think. He lost to
Yeah.
Shodai, who was 4-11,
All
and he
over. Yeah.
lost to Hiradomi, who was also 5-10. And all 3 of the guys he lost to couldn't manage Kachikoshi, which it
Right.
just makes it worse that he lost. That he's one of their losses.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Um,
think that concern or that sort of disappointment does sort of permeate the general sumo community for sure, because people are, they're cautiously optimistic. But I
yeah,
do want to say that it is a nice moment because it's been a lot of injury. There's been a lot of uh, just acrimonious things going on. Scandals and such. It's nice to have this moment.
yes. Well, it is. It's exciting. It's always exciting to get a new Yokozuna, um, and like I say, Hoshoryu is a really great rikishi, and
Yeah.
he has been and seems to for the foreseeable future. He's not pulling injuries along with him. He seems to be set um, to fulfill that same style at least for the foreseeable future.
It
But
was interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
but if that's what he does, if he falls back to some, or if he only performs kind of like he performed in this tournament, he's only going to win one basho a year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's not going to be out front leading the ones he doesn't win. He's going to drop a couple of matches in week one, and he's going to be fighting from behind the whole time.
So
And
here's the thing. I agree with you, and that is the concern for sure. And I also, but I think it is easy for me anyway. So I'll say when I first started to, he always kind of irked me a little bit. And I think when I finally cracked the code on why, it was because he kind of carries himself in such a way that seems more and bigger and stronger than he was actually performing to, and there would be these emotional moments after he would
yeah,
lose to somebody kind of ridiculous, and so I just kind of started to pay attention more. And I honestly, it's weird. I went from kind of indifference to him as a sort of just like a character. He certainly was not as entertaining as, say, Tokuzaru or Shodai even. But there is something to be said, I think, for the transformation, or the when you get to that place, however hard one it might have been, that I'm looking at. Let me drop the link in chat. There's an interview. They transcribed his interview, the press conference,
right,
and it was
right.
so interesting to hear him, to kind of get a sense of who he was as a person. And then in
Yeah,
addition to that, there's so many different photos and things that it gave me a rounder sort of picture of who he was, as a person,
yeah.
I find myself kind of becoming a fanboy.
I like, like I say,
Oh, and this isn't
it,
to say that you're, yeah.
I
This
know,
is not
but
an opposite. Yeah,
I
go ahead.
know that I'm really hitting on the negative sides of that because that's my argument. But I want to say again, I like him a lot, and I think a that he did what they asked him to do. When you can't, they won't argue that. I can
Yeah,
argue. I think that he was going to become a yokozuna eventually. I think that he
yeah.
had it in him and has it in him. Um, and he does seem to be a really good guy. Did you see the pictures of the post tournament parade, the driving in the car with the trophy that they do
I
after,
did. Yeah,
with
I
these
did.
had the kid, the learning disabled kid in the car with him?
Yes, yeah.
That's a great story, and that, I
It
mean, that's
is.
been
Yeah.
quietly going on for a while. His support of that kid, and I mean, it's part of the junior high school group that he came out of. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to paint him as a bad guy. I don't want this to be like the Shodai. Like, what's wrong? But I think that the Kyokai is afraid of having a period without a Yokozuna, and
No, I
that's
agree.
why
I
this
agree.
happens. And I think that's a mistake. And I think that it opens him up to,
Yeah,
if he
yeah.
only, and I say this in air quotes, if he only performs as well as he had been doing previously, which is a really strong Ozeki level,
Oh,
then
yeah. World
there's
class.
then
Yeah, all
he
of
it
that.
opens him up for a lot of uh, uh, just trouble from the media and people saying, well, I
Yeah.
don't know, he's not looking like a Yokozuna.
One of those moments of "I told you so," and we
Right,
shouldn't have
right.
done
And
that. And I
suddenly,
agree.
yeah,
Absolutely agree. And I agree. And I kept JJ's comment of um, it does feel like they gave it to him. It does feel like they did it out of a kind of desperation and worry for, being kind of leaderless, which, has kind of been the energy, for a while.
which is,
But
I don't know. The problem with that for me, and I was saying this in a conversation with someone earlier in the week, is that making him Yokozuna is not going to make him perform any. He's going to perform as well as he's going to
yes,
perform.
Right.
right?
Right. I mean, no, it may
And
inspire
we can
higher
count on that being
heights.
a high level performance. I'm not saying he's going to show diet,
Right.
right? But I'm also saying that he hasn't really shown that he's ready to be that good all the time, and because of that, I think that it's better for them not to stretch to not to stretch to give him the promotion. And I know that
and to grow as he needs to. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. To not yeah, exactly. Yeah. I agree with you. I do agree. But I also uh, it is a nice moment.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And so now, having said all that, I'll say it one more time. Having said that, if it were me, I would not promote him. And if you would ask me, and anyone who did ask me, I said, I hope they don't promote him.
Yeah, yeah. And it made sense. Your reasoning made
Having
perfect sense.
having done that, I'm all for him. He's our 74th Yokozuna, right? And that's another part of my argument. There've only been 73 of Yokozuna ever, right?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
and the every time they've well, not every time, but several times when they've kind of let someone slip in because they wanted to make sure it, it happened. It's turned out it's blown up in their face. There's one guy,
Yeah.
one Yokozuna that came in and never won a tournament as a Yokozuna. And in fact, I think he was only Yokozuna. He retired like 3 tournaments later. But
And that's
and
yeah,
not because he was injured, because he was bad.
because he was bad. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and as JJ says, he's going to be giving up Kimboshi the gold stars for Maegashira ranked wrestlers beating a Yokozuna. He's going to be giving those out 2 or 3 or 4 a tournament, and that's not what's supposed to happen, right? It's a big deal when you beat a Yokozuna, and it will still be a big deal, but Yokozuna are measured by how few Kimboshi they allow against them.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah. No,
again,
I feel you. I feel you.
I think it's bad for him if that because if that is going to be around, it's going to be another anchor around his neck that people talk about his career as a Yokozuna. Well,
Yeah.
he gave up 50 Kimboshi. Well, that's not great.
And that does put him in a very interesting pressure cooker of a space.
Yeah,
And I'm imagining, and having read the interviews and kind of where he's at in his head, it's clearly a remarkable moment that he was expecting,
yeah,
that and so he was kind of in that space already. It is it'll be interesting. It's a very interesting piece of sumo history to kind
yeah.
of see this happen, and then now to watch and see if he stays there and acts in a way that is leaderly, being a calming force and
I think yeah. So I think that on the big plus side is I think that he will be that. But I think that he's a good guy. I think that he's a good leader. I think that he will work with the other wrestlers and that. But um, he was already because he's already been doing it as an Ozeki.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I like him. I like him a lot. I
yeah,
I guess I mean my hesitancy continues to be about whether or not this is a smart thing to do, and that it's kind of putting him in a position where it's not setting him up to fail, but it's certainly giving him a more dangerous road to walk.
yeah, absolutely. With so much more to prove, and so that there will be that thread of he wasn't ready for this,
Yeah.
and that's yeah. I mean, it is. It's a tale as old as time.
Thank you, Mrs. Potts.
You're welcome.
Um,
Yeah.
but having said all that, congratulations to our 74th Yokozuna Hoshoryu.
Yeah. And my new favorite Rikishi.
Okay, good
I
for
mean,
you.
he was getting there. I mean,
He was growing on you. He was,
he
yeah, he
was
was.
growing on me, and it's I liked Tobizaru because of the entertainment and just sort of the just he's a character.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like Hoshoryu is my big boy pick. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Anyway,
So tell you what, I think Hoshoryu is super exciting to watch, and he's got such command of the throws and of positioning, but he doesn't do my favorite kind of sumo, so he's never going to be my favorite.
right,
Um,
right, right. You prefer a more dancerly kind of
well, I
approach.
do, but I like those, but I also like I really like Onosato. Onosato does
Yeah.
great. He looks so much like Kisei Nosato in the body type and the kind of sumo that he does. Um, I really like him.
For this stage of my, we kind of look at the bashos, and for me anyway, just as I'm learning more about sumo, I'm going to be getting more into the notion of how people are, you know, what their kind of sumo is,
Yeah.
and really getting into that sort of, the pusher thruster, the, like all that kind of stuff, and really unpack it and get into the meta of it. I'm looking forward to that now that this is my next level, but
You've leveled
yeah,
up.
I leveled up. I leveled up.
I like JD says
I do
I
too.
want Hoshoryu to take Asashoryu's Shikona, his ring name. So
Yeah,
I am uncle
I am
now.
uncle now.
Yeah, he won't do that. He definitely won't do that. Do you know that one of the things that Asashoryu has famously over Hoshoryu's career made public statements to kind of um, to tough love egg him on? Like, well, I mean,
Oh,
you're not doing what you. I mean, yeah, you're looking good, but you know this. You know that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you should have done that. If you'd a real Yokozuna would have done this. And so he, upon Hoshoryu getting the promotion, Asashoryu came out and made a really positive,
Oh,
statement
good.
about him,
Well, so
which
here's a
is great.
question.
Which is great. But Asashoryu, of course, in Mongolia, still a big name in sumo world, still a big name, and
Yeah,
he's not ready to get off the stage. I don't think
yeah,
that Toshoryu would have his blessing to grab the Shikona.
yeah. No. So a couple quick questions. Does Hoshoryu have? Did he have an uncle that was a rishi? Is that a thing, or am I?
That's Asashoryu.
That is Hoshoryu is the uncle.
Yes.
See, I get confused because people call they there's a nickname, but then is it also his real uncle, or is this
Yeah. They
interesting?
look
Okay.
very much alike. You can get some pictures of them. You will see. For
Yeah, yeah. No,
sure.
I had some up and wanted to ask about, because there are people who just call like the nickname is the uncle, you know what I mean, or the what
Right.
do they call it, the cultural kind of
Yeah.
exchange or whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm putting that together now. All right. Um,
All right. Any other questions? You said you had a couple.
yeah, I did. I
Or
did. I
does
had
that
another
answer them?
one and
That's the
immediately forgot it. What was it? It was nope,
yeah.
nope. I
As
can't remember.
JJ says, they've been having a strained relationship for a while now.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. I'm also curious. I'll be very curious to see sort of the new. I remember my question. So now with Hoshoryu
Yeah.
having ascended, will we see a lot?
Oh.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Top of the heap. Will we see a a new deference in the way that people act and sort of engage with him? Will we see less out of ring criticisms from pundits and the like? Like, will they start to defer to him in a different way? Will they treat him differently with more respect?
Well,
And
like I say, it may get worse. And
yeah,
I
right,
think for this month, you certainly will see people be much more deferential to him. There will be very few in the Japanese press who will express the sentiments that I am, uh,
yeah.
but there will be a significant number who think them.
Sure, in a lot of
and
very
so
flowery ways that
they'll be
people are
laying in
talking.
wait.
Yeah,
Um,
right, right.
and you know, everything as in as in the rest of sumo, everything will be based on your performance. And
Yeah,
once you're a yokozuna, um, the expected bar is higher, and the willingness to say, "Well, you're not doing your job," is also lower. Right? It's much
yeah.
easier to get people to come in and say, "Well, the yokozuna should." That's
And the reason I ask is I worry about that a little bit because I think that
me
when
too.
people ascend to a position, and I do also think that the pressure being what it is, I'm imagining that in with other rikishi, there is an increased sort of adherence to deference and sort of treating him differently, or maybe not being as blunt, or I don't know. I mean,
I
I'm
don't know. Well, I mean,
speculating.
as an Ozeki, he already amongst the
Commanded that.
Rikishi was already way up there, and he's been there for a while. He's earned his place of respect amongst the people in the sport. The
Yes,
media
JJ,
is
you're
another
absolutely right.
question. Is
You're absolutely right. This is where the moment where I said, "God, he definitely feels like he's walking around with Yokozuna with a
yeah,
Yokozuna pair of pants on." But
he's been doing that since he was a Maegashira one.
yeah, 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 exactly. But yeah, anyway. So so we
Yeah,
hope for the best
yeah.
and watch.
Again, that's your question is based on what I was saying earlier, and I
Yeah,
fear of that. It's just getting this uh, promotion opens him up to more scrutiny, more criticism, and just more pressure. If he's not really ready for it,
he's
it's
gonna
just
crash.
bad.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and I don't want to see that for sure because I mean one of the things too that I realize about him is he's a very emotional guy.
Yeah,
And he's I mean tempered and he does what he needs to do, but that little moment after every match where he wins or loses and you kind of get a sense, you see
yeah,
a little bit of that fire. Yeah, I really do hope that he's changed in a in that way that sometimes happens when people are promoted early.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I really do hope so. I fear not.
so
In fact, my gut instinct is no.
yeah, well there we go. So I'm
And,
gonna hope for the best. Stan is going to curse him, and I'm kidding. I get it, I absolutely get it.
and again, it I I know you understand this, but I'm going to say it again because this is going out live to the world, and people may watch it again later. Uh, I don't say that in a hoping that he will do bad or
Right.
wanting him to do bad. I really, really hope that I'm wrong in my fears,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. You get it.
that's not what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that that's what makes it more difficult for you because you do want him to be so. You personally, like
yeah,
you want real success for him, and are kind of bummed that this opens him up to a less virtuous cycle of yeah. So we watch and we wait and we see. I mean, I'm hoping the best for him too. I'm also
yeah,
hoping that that his ascension cinches my win of the Fantasy Oyakata.
yeah. That's a good thing to hope.
Doesn't it
Um,
just catapult me to the top?
with 2 days left, it seemed like an unlikely turnaround.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I'm no Hoshoryu, of course, but
so, do you want to make the snowman? Do you want to look at the
yes, I do.
Fantasy Oyakata? Would you
Yes,
like
of
to do
course I do. Yeah, I do. I do. I do.
that? Do you? Do you?
I
All
do.
right.
Do.
Well, let's come back over here, and we can. You maybe want to turn off the fancy Gyoji.
I'm getting there so we can see all this stuff. Can we get in there with this? Do this, and there we go.
All right. So this
Hey,
is
real quick before you start,
yeah.
just I forgot I had this.
Forgot you had what?
You can't see it because I anyway I threw up the fantasy Wrestle Daddy
Oh,
The famous Fantasy Wrestle Daddy logo.
Right. The famous Fantasy Wrestle Daddy logo. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. It's the end. 63 is the most points you can possibly get. And that is if you took Hoshoryu and Daisho and Oho and Tamawashi and Kimbozan. And you picked Hoshoryu for your yusho and Oho or Kimbozan for your Jun yusho. And we know that no one did that.
No one did.
So, here we go. Down at the bottom of the order this time is Marvelous.
Marv
had Onosato and Wakataka Kage, which didn't do any good, and Tommy Fuji, who got a gold star but finished 5 and 10, and Kata Fuji, who finished 5 and 10, and Keru Fuji, who finished 10 and 5.
And which is of course the one I wanted to pick, but
Wakataka Kage and Onosato, no points there.
Yeah. There was in the middle there. I thought for sure Marvelous was gonna.
You're gonna snap
head
back
right to the top. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Big Boys.
Big Boys.
39 points.
Nice.
Also Onosato. Also Wakataka Kage. Tobizaru at 7 and 8, so that's a little better than Tommy Fuji. Churanomi, a little worse than Takata Fuji, and also Takeda Fuji. He picked Hoshoryu, gets an extra point for having picked the Yusho winner correct.
Nice. All right. Congrats, the Big Boys.
Above that, we have Troy Hewitt at 40 points. Yeah. Pretty good.
Boo.
Pretty good. Oh, you were
I don't know. Waka is really
Waka's not doing any good. You picked Hoshoryu. Would you see you get a special point there, an extra point there?
I did indeed.
You get, but a Tommy Fuji, bad choice, not a good choice.
Oh wait, no, that's spelled wrong. I meant Takeda Fuji. There must be a typo. Damn it. I picked the wrong Takeda.
Hakuoho, though, if you took Takeda Fuji, you would have gotten the same thing as you got for Hakuoho. So, really, you still would need something in your middle Maegashira that was not 5 and 10. Anyway.
Yes, indeed.
Next up, we have the other nasal, the Golden Boys.
Nice. Congrats.
I had Hoshoryu.
Good showing for third place.
I didn't give them the +1. This could change things.
Scandal.
Oh, so they were tied with you. So they now beat you. Sorry.
Oh, dang it.
Should I take away their special point?
No, of course not.
But you had the same Hoshoryu, same Wakamoto Haru, same Tommy Fuji. It was the Takata Fuji and Tamawashi here. That was Tamawashi was the best you could do in this slot, and Takata Fuji was not.
No, dang it. JJ says get stuffed to Wakataka.
And they picked Midori Fuji, so you beat them there with Hakuoho.
Take that.
They also got Hoshoryu here. So, yeah.
Look at that list of
1 point difference.
People who chose Onosato. Oh, yeah.
1 point difference. All right, and then so I think you remember at the end, Kitten and I were tied, I think.
That's
the last time we saw it.
And interestingly enough, I wonder if we need to review sort of the points for these top two people just to be sure that maybe one person hasn't added accidentally a bunch of points to their score. I'm no mathematologist.
Sure. You know what? I tell you, I'm always up for independent review. I'm not afraid of independent review. If I made a mistake, I don't want to benefit from it.
We'll talk from you, and that is the truth, which is why you would never. We'll have to talk to the Yokozuna Council West. Get a ruling.
All right, so let us see what turned out here.
Oh, look at that!
Look at that! I snuck it out by 1.
Nice though.
Onosato. we had different people, but the same score in the Sanyaku.
Yeah.
Takage and Abi both Make Koshi, but I took Kirishima and she took Shodai.
That was a rough
That's
one, kitten,
and
gotta
so
say.
I don't know how much review is going to change that.
No, no, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it's still there's only 1 point difference because we both took Tamawashi, but I took Onokatsu and she took Takeru Fuji, so we got a boost there. But that difference between this 10-5-7-8 and 11-4-6-9, that's the difference. Um,
Yeah, that it seems almost like a
Neither
protest
one
of
of
some
us
kind.
got the yusho or the
Yeah.
Chun Show. In fact, we picked the same people also. So Kitten and I are shadows of each other.
You're like sumo twins.
Uh, I've just turned out to be a 3 point better shadow.
Well, there's always
So there we
next
go.
Basho.
So I have secured my third yusho
That's right.
uh, from these games that we've been playing.
That's right. Well, I still have my one win. I feel pretty good about that. But
You have one win and one second place.
oh, that's
When you
right.
look down
Yes.
here
So
at the all-time champs list, you are here you're the third place.
yeah, the number
All time.
two cup that you give out as the award is really pretty similar to the number one cup in that
That's
they
right.
don't
Yeah.
exist.
No, I get
They're almost identical. A lot of
well,
fun. This was a,
I
this was a good one.
I get to keep my squeezy sumo.
Oh, nice. Now, will you be forced to give that away
No, this
to
is
the
my
winner?
squeezy
Yeah,
sumo.
yeah, yeah.
So we
I
say
might come over and
there's
steal
you
it.
win nothing except
That's
bragging
true.
rights.
Very
So
quite. Yeah, yeah. Very
I'm
clear about that.
bragging by squeezing my sumo.
I see. I see. You know what? This was quite the Basho.
It was. It was a
I
very
a
very
lot
good
of
match.
fun, exhilarating moments. We're still playing around with the how we want to do this in a way that doesn't get our content yeeted into the sun. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, but I'm pretty happy with the way that we managed to cover it and kind of we're in our own sort of gear shift era
Yes.
as we figure out kind of how we want to put all these pieces together. But hey, we're reunited with friends like Doomfache, and
Yeah.
I'm certain more to come. So yeah. What's next? What are we? When do we
Well,
come back?
we will probably not be back with a live show until the end of February when the
Yeah,
Banzuke is announced for the March tournament.
yeah, and maybe I'm gonna we'll talk about this off the air, but it might be a good fun little have a one like a just do one little show, a little
Yeah.
discussion, yeah,
Yeah.
something, yeah,
That I mean, so the right now what we've been doing, if we do it the same way we did this tournament, we had the Banzuke show and
yeah,
then the uh, show the Friday before the tournament starts, and then the 5 shows during the tournament. Um, and if we take this off, there's only 3 or 4 weeks between because we come in early on the front
yeah,
end. So there's only 3 or 4 weeks that we skip.
yeah, yeah.
But
I know it
if we
feels like
have if we have
a big
something
effort,
good,
but
we have a good plan. We have something to talk about. You know
yeah,
me. I love talking about the sumo.
that's right, that's right.
Um,
So yeah. So expect to see. We're gonna be noodling on the format and all of that, and try to find ways that we don't.
so where should people go if they want to know if we come up with something and we're going to have a show? How are they going to find out?
I say you'd better get over to the Facebook group. That's the best way to do it. It's really the most effective way, and you do that by going to Facebook and searching for the Sumo Show or the link that I'm going to drop here in a moment. But make sure you double
Also,
check. What were you going to say?
I was going to say also subscribing to the YouTube channel is a very good idea.
Oh, that one too. Yeah. Well, that is true. That is another way because you know what? You don't have to wait for us to tell you. because it tells you, it gives you a little notification if you Uwatanage that bell.
Watanagi that bell.
Do it. Yeah. So you'll be among the first to be invited to come see us. I think it tips you off at what is it, like a half hour before the show. But really, I mean, at least until such a time that Zuckerberg, isn't influenced by the shadowy organizations to ban
Oh
us
my
and
God.
throw our content into the garbage. Check that group out. It's in the live chat if you're listening on demand, and join it. And when you join it, I got a little fun message pop up trumpeting your arrival, and then and then we give you a series of tests, one more
Yeah,
difficult than the
please
last.
answer the question. There's just simple questions that are meant to help us make sure you're not a bot.
Yeah, and also just a social contract that says you
Yeah,
won't be a jerk is a nice thing. Yeah.
right. But I if when I go through it, if someone doesn't answer the questions, I deny them
Yeah. And we
because
have been we
because
have been sort of
they're not intrusive questions. It's like,
no,
hey,
no,
who do
no.
you like? How long you been watching sumo? Welcome to the show.
Right. We ask for your social security, the street you grew up
What
on,
was your
the name
mother's
of your
maiden
first
name?
pet, your
Who was
mother's
her
maiden
favorite
name.
Richie?
Yeah, we're just trying to, I guess, kind of find out what your stripper name is, and that's
Right.
the questions we got to ask to get there. But also, the last time we talked about this, I think we were at 111.
Hmm.
Now we're almost now we're 152.
All right. Well,
So
we're
a lot of
growing.
people. We're growing. I mean, I think it's pretty good. Imagine having 152 people sitting in your house right now.
No, I will not.
I refuse and I
I will
shan't.
not. I will not imagine that.
Yeah, and I think good for you. Because that'd be a lot of people. It wouldn't even be fun. That would
There
just be
would no.
weird.
It would not. It would not be good to have
Yeah,
150
it'd just be a
people in my
weird. But yeah. So, but you can have all the fun and none of the weirdness by all of you cramming into our Facebook group.
Yes, that I'll imagine.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Ah.
Well, so what do you say? Shall we?
Well, I don't know that I'm going to hear the drums, but if you tell me that you're trying to play them, I'll
I
work.
do want to just stop real quick. Here's a question from Wrestler Spotlight. Speaking of, should I do one of the of Nabatame or Shirokuma?
Uh, well, I I say Shirokuma, if only because I like his name, and we saw him up in the top division. He didn't do well that one tournament and fell back down to Jurio, but we'll be seeing him again soon. We'll probably be seeing Nabatame also, but I would pick Shirokuma if it were me.
And I would say, where do you find information, JJ? Where do you find information about the Gyoji? Um, I can't find a lot of good stuff. I found some stuff that I can translate, but also, translates poorly and is very weird to read. I'm trying to learn more about that entity as it relates to the shadowy organizations of the, Grand Sumo.
I would. God, I'm blanking on his name. Um, Aonishki, the new Ukrainian guy. I'd like. I think
Yes, right.
Kashishi's coming up to top division next time, and Aonishki might. We got. Oh boy, man! If we look at, if I were to pull up the, maybe I should. Maybe I should pull it up.
Should you?
Um, yes. Oh, sorry. You thought we were leaving? We're not leaving yet.
Something's leaving. The train is leaving.
Hey, I know I teased you by making it seem like we were leaving, but
You're a
hold on a
monster.
second. Hold on a second
I'll
as
hold
I
on.
get this ready. Hold on. Hold on. Oh man. So if I come here and I do this and I do this, and now we can come back here and this. Okay, so we're back here. Now we're looking at our Hoshitori, the list of the Banzuke with everyone's results. But the thing I want to show is if we go all the way down to the bottom and we look and we see we've got at Maegashira 17, Tokihate 7 and 8 dropping down. Maegashira 16, both of them are 6 and 9.
Yeah.
Pretty good chance they're gonna drop down. Go above them, Kitanowaka 4, 5, and 6. He's for sure dropping down.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Hakuoho 10 and 5, good. But Hokuto Fuji was in it all 0 and 15. He's for sure dropping down.
Mm-hmm.
Kinbozan's going up above him. Koto Shoho at 5 and 10 at Maegashira 13. In most instances, that's something you'd be afraid of dropping down, but not so clear. We go up to Maegashira 8, Roga at 03 and 12. Oh, is it dropping out?
Is it?
Can you not? It's not showing up on the screen again.
Oh, I see it. I see it on my end.
Oh, all right. Well, it doesn't look, not showing to me. Why? All right. Yeah. So Roga even at Maegashira 8 with 0 wins could be a fall down, and even beyond that, we got Takata Fuji at 5 and 10. We got more 4 and 11 for Chuda Naomi. So we got a lot of people. We have, I think, a minimum of 4 spots opening up for people to come up from Juryo, and maybe as many as 7. So that will depend on how many people at the top of Juryo are looking very good and how much the Kyokai wants to avoid having a huge shift, right? We talked about that before, right? When you have a lot of people flipping back and forth, that encourages next time that there'll be a lot of people flipping back and forth, and they don't want that kind of mass instability in the top division. They want it to be 3 or 4, 2, and maybe even fewer if everyone's doing well down there. They don't want those huge numbers. But given what we've seen in this tournament, it could very well be up to 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. There. Now I'm done. Now you can roll out those drums and you can take care of your business that you got to take care of.
Yeah. Or JJ, if you're not on Facebook, you can also drop it over there if you want. Drop it on the drop it like it's hot, I guess is really what I'm saying, on our Facebook group. And I don't think we're set up to allow people to do links, but we'll get there. I'll get over there. How about this? Can you hear that?
No. Is it playing?
It is.
All right. Well, then you have been listening to the Sumo Show, a live podcast about the art and sport of sumo. Your hosts tonight have been Stan Brown and Troy Hewitt. Production by Troy Hewitt. Sommeliering by Stan Brown, and Initial Charge by Tachi I Troy.
Hi.
So until the Banzuke is released for the spring tournament, we say to you, Ja mata ne.
Bye.